Hey guys, my name is Blake Kitchens. This is Hound Hogs Barbecue, and today we're cooking smoked spaghetti. So today we're actually going to be making a homemade tomato sauce. Now this isn't going to be anything crazy. It's going to be super basic. We've only got tomatoes, some basil, and some garlic, and actually a little bit of bacon grease. We'll show you how we're going to use that. And then we're also going to smoke the beef today. So I'm going to walk you guys through that process. Brianna's going to be doing the sauce. I'll be kind of explaining how things are going, and we'll just kind of show you guys how it's done. All right, so today we're actually smoking the beef that we're going to use in our spaghetti this evening. So what I did was I had about 2 pounds of 90-10 ground beef. Now, I usually would use something like 80-20, but 90-10 is all they had at the store because they've been running low recently. But the thing is, I want to get as much smoke flavor on this meat as I possibly can. So I'm not just going to cook it in one big lump. I actually split it up into 2 1-pound like patties, basically. And I seasoned it with my SPG and my beef rub. And I'm going to put it on the Weber kettle, smoke it low and slow to try to get that good smoke flavor into the meat before we break it up and use it in our spaghetti. So that's the plan for today. We're probably going to try to do around 275 degrees, and the intention is to get as much smoke flavor into this meat as possible so that when we mix it with our spaghetti we get that good flavor. Alright, so the coals are ready to go. Now what I'm going to do, I've got a grill mat down here. Don't set this down on your porch, but I'm going to set that down right there. And I'm going to pour just kind of a load of charcoal over on one side. I'm looking for probably about an hour, hour and a half smoke time. And so I don't need a ton. And then what I'm going to do is just take these coals and pour them in on one end. I'm going to go ahead and throw 2 big chunks of pecan on. Like I said, it's not going to take very long. And so I'm going to put one probably about right where the coals that aren't lit are meeting the lit ones. It's a little bit big for that. Set it down right there. And then I'm going to set one kind of back in here for later once it gets burning through. And then I'm going to put the grate on, cover it up, and let the grill come up to temp. Alright, so the grill is running about 250 degrees right now. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and get the meat on. Alright, we're going to let it go. We're going to have the exhaust right over the meat so the smoke has to come over it. And hopefully it'll be done in about an hour. Guys, here is our finished tomato sauce, and let me tell you how we got here. The first thing that we did was we diced some fresh tomatoes. Now we had about 4 pounds of fresh tomatoes. If you have a food processor, use a food processor. This took us a while. We had to work together, and it still took us like 10 or 15 minutes to dice all those tomatoes. But once we diced them, we put some bacon grease in a pot. I told you guys we were going to use some bacon grease from earlier. We put some bacon grease in a pot. We minced some garlic, some fresh garlic, 3 cloves, and we put it in there with a little bit of red pepper flake and started letting that kind of get aromatic, start to get a little bit of color, really start to kind of loosen up those juices in there. And once we did that, we poured all the tomatoes in there. And we brought it up to a boil and then dropped it to a simmer. Now, we didn't just do this for 10 minutes. We did this for about 2 hours. Okay, it was really liquidy, and we'd started early, so we wanted to kind of cook it down. So now you can see it's still pretty liquidy, but it's definitely more of a sauce consistency. Okay, so we let that thing simmer for about 2 hours uncovered. We did cover it for the first little bit until it got to where we wanted it to be. Now the only thing we're going to do left is we're going to add some basil. Okay, and we're doing this just to get a little bit of that fresh herb taste to it. So we're going to pour this in, just kind of what we think is right. And then we're just going to mix that in. We don't want to really cook that in necessarily because we still want it to be fresh when we eat it. But oh my gosh, that smell just hit me. That fresh basil hitting that hot juice. That smells so good. Me and Brianna have been talking about it ever since we started cooking it, that this just smells incredible the whole time. So now we're about to bring in the meat. It should be just about done. Show you guys what we're going to do with that, and then we'll get it plated. All right, so the ground beef is done. We're going to go ahead and get it off. It hit about 155 degrees. And if you look, man, that just looks so good. This is going to be delicious. You can tell it's got some good smoke on there. So let's go inside and chop it up. All right, so here we are. We've got our meat and we've got our sauce. So what we're going to do with the meat is we're just going to chop it up. Normally, if you're using meat, you would brown it in like a frying pan. So it would be all broken up. I'm not really a meatballs guy. I really do like my meat kind of broken up. So what we're going to do, we're just going to chop this up. But let's see how done it got. Right about medium well. There's a slight pink right there in the middle. I was really not looking for medium or medium rare. I'm not really big on wanting pink inside of my spaghetti. So this is exactly what I wanted. So really all I'm going to do is just kind of chop it up from here. You can see that good smoke ring, by the way. That's where that good pecan wood smoke flavor is going to come from. But we're just going to chop it up, and then we're going to plate it and mix it with our spaghetti sauce, and we're going to enjoy our dinner. We didn't show you guys how to cook noodles because hopefully you know how to cook noodles. These are just box noodles. We've got our meat, we've got our sauce, we've got our bed of noodles. Now I'm not a real liquidy sauce kind of guy, so I'm going to kind of strain it on the side a little bit and make us a nice bed of tomato sauce. I like a little bit extra sauce. All right, and then from there, I'm just going to take a good chunk of this meat. We're just going to throw it right on top. So let me get a fork and we'll try it. All right, so let me just taste the meat by itself real quick. I've already tasted the sauce. It was delicious. The meat, the spices really just are kind of subtle, even though because it's chopped up, it's a little more subtle. That pecan wood really comes through. Let's see how it mixes all together. Y'all don't make fun of me when I got noodles dangling out of my mouth in a second. That slight touch of smoke with that really, really fresh tomato sauce is just one of the best spaghetti dinners I think I'll ever eat. So we're ready to eat. Brantley's over here. He's got a snack cup. He's ready to eat too. So I'll catch up with you guys here in just a minute on what would I change, and I'll see you guys later. All right, guys, it's time for what would I change. And honestly, guys, not a whole lot in this one. You know, you hear all the time these guys, they talk about on these, oh man, you taste the smoke, you taste this, man. The little bit of acidity in that fresh sauce, it just being really simple with that basil and that garlic was really good. But then every now and then you had this punch of just subtle smoke that came through from that pecan wood, and it was actually really good. So I was actually really happy with this one. The only thing is I cooked too much. That's a problem that I normally have. I cook like twice as much as I need to, so I guess we'll have leftovers. But other than that, guys, go out and try it. You know, there's a lot of tomato sauce recipes out there. Just find one you like. We just wanted one simple, and maybe try making some homemade bread to go with it. That would probably make it even better. But other than that, guys, I'll catch you guys later, so go out and cook something.